do a lot of.
Okay, let's go on to order.
Yes.
Yeah, number one, barrier.
I was watching some
That-
of this bull around that trial.
Welcome everybody, we have,
Like where that guy is.
we'll have a
She
roll
hired her
call.
boyfriend outside of her, she has a whole, she got like 50 assistant prosecutors.
I agree.
She hired her boyfriend.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any experience.
You got a gavel? I didn't hear it.
Trying to go.
There's is black.
Okay. McDonald?
Here.
Brightfield?
Here.
Cyrowski?
Here,
Couch is excused. Waffle is excused. Curtis?
Here.
Pearson?
Here.
Kane?
Here.
Barnett is excused. Flood is excused. Rochelle? And Urbanowski.
Here.
Thank you.
And if you'd like to introduce yourself to, I know you by name
Yeah.
only and
Yeah.
reputation.
Stella.
But if you want to say hi to everybody.
I think the last time I was here, I don't think I was the treasurer yet. Who was it? Kim Urbanowski, Orion Township, the treasurer. The last time I was here, I was trustee.
Well, thank you. We appreciate your attendance
Yeah.
because the townships are an integral and mandatory part of our
Yeah.
ability to proceed. So
Yeah,
thank
happy
you.
to be here.
Okay, we have a forum, and we'll have respects to the flag now. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the board has been presented with an agenda. Are there any questions, changes to that? If not, a motion to approve will be in order.
I move to approve the agenda as presented.
support.
I had Brakefield.
That's okay.
Okay. Next time, Sean. All in favor of approval of the agenda as presented, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. Lori, thank you for coming. Great to see you.
Don't try to cash these.
Okay, moving on to the next item is the minutes from our January meeting. Are there any questions, changes, corrections? If not, a motion to approve would be in order.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Support.
Any questions on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion to approve the minutes of January 2024, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. Okay, motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the director's report. Lynn?
Good afternoon, everybody. I won't read the report, I just want to give you a few highlights. And the big thing is our pilot program is starting March 1st with Independence Township, where we're going to take over all of their operations. They currently are running 4 or 5 routes, Monday through Friday from 8 to 5. We have been supplementing them since this summer, so we've been doing weekend service and evening service or out of scope service for them. But effective March 1st, we're going to be taking over 100% of their operation. So it's been quite a push to try to get things ready. The biggest issue we've had is getting vehicles. Our idea was that we were going to start with 10 vehicles, but looking at what the rides are that we now have, what rides they have, and we have them in our system, we're going to start with 7 routes over there, which I think is going to be more than enough to start with until it starts to expand. And we've had a lot of issues, as I kind of detailed in the report, trying to get vehicles, but it looks like as of yesterday, Smart has 6 of our transits that are replacement brand vehicles that came out and are on the lot in Macomb. And being assured that we should be able to take delivery of those next week. So that's a relief, because even though they're replacement vehicles, they're allowing us to keep ours and get the new ones until we can get our 10 transits in the next month. So today on the agenda, we're ordering 10 vehicles through Mobility Works. We've done the coding for that. That's in our budget. But we only have 1 from them right now that's on lot. So we'll have 6 from Smart, and we'll have 1 from Mobility Works. That'll be our 7 to start our pilot program March 1st. It's a 6-month pilot program, and in our on the agenda today is a draft amendment that is between Oakland County and us. And it basically, Independence really was hoping to have an agreement with the county, with Independence, but the county chose to not do that. And in lieu of that, they put the Independence criteria of service in our contract, because the county said we were contracting with NODA, not with Independence. And so they made this amendment, which just basically outlines the service that we're going to be providing. So that's going to be finalized next month, but we're going to start March 1st. So that's kind of that in a nutshell. So part of for us to get our vehicles, we're going to be maintaining those 7 vehicles over at Clintonwood Park, which is in Independence Township. As part of that, the agreement, we're going to be putting an automatic gate at the beginning there, so our drivers can go in and out, and the vehicles will be safe. So I just received those gate quotes today, sorry for the last minute, and I did send them to the county, their procurement department, for them to review. They said that he was in agreement today, we just got the email back, and he said Nationwide is the lowest bid of the contractors, and I think R was the lowest electric. So those kind of came through. So that's going to be basically something the Clinton, or the Independence will end up maintaining going forward. It's just kind of an asset for them. They've agreed to maintain a lot over there, so it's kind of a thank you for letting us use that lot is what we're looking at. And so we're going to be setting up, they have the senior center there in Clinton Park, if anyone's been there, but there's also a park office. It's almost like a little garage. That's where we're going to be setting up for our drivers. So they've given us space to put in like a charging station for our tablets and our phones. We'll have our keys there, and then we're going to have a printer set up. Our IT guy is going to set it up so that we can actually print from here, like driver schedules if the tablets go down, just to have things kind of as backup. So that's kind of the things with Independence. We just got our phone system in yesterday, so that's a brand new phone system. A few glitches, like everything, but we're working through them. We're going to come back out tomorrow and do a little bit more training. Our server is due to come in next week, which is good because it's been on its last legs. I've been holding my breath. And the dispatch software, we're currently going to maintain what we currently have with BC Trans. The Adept software has been put on hold. It was supposed to go live at the end of February for us, but they were supposed to start with Smart, and that has been put off for a few months, so we're not sure where that's going to go. So we've given them a list of our concerns with Adept, and OBC and WODA, we're all very concerned about it, and working through those concerns, and hopefully we'll have some results, but we're not in a rush to be switching over to Adept. So that's it. Thank you.
I just have a question, just curious, under the electric companies, the one that's the county contract, 13,600, and then the other two are real close, 5,593 and 5,830.
Right.
And that's a county contract, it's double over double.
It was. Yeah, they were surprised.
Wow.
Yes.
I think that's what we were all wary of, getting involved with the county and how much influence they would have over our operations. And thanks to the board and Lynn, and to a lesser degree Mike, for keeping, we've maintained our identity and our standards, at least thus far. And as Lynn just reported, she's working with Eli. Eli has said he'd make himself available to us if we have any concerns that come away from today's meeting, or obviously from the future. But Lynn gave me an update earlier in the week, and the term crazy was used several times because it's just been an experience, but it is pulling together now. It looks like Independence is, at least they've gone from demanding that they want to have their own system. The county stuck to its guns and said, we're not contracting with the township, we're contracting through NODA. If you want service, and your taxpayers certainly have paid for it, this is how it's going to be done. So They're gonna underwrite the improvements that Lynn just told us about, the gate and the garage, and they're gonna maintain that stuff, so we won't have to worry about that end of the operation. But, it's been a lot, and, it's come a long way, so. Anybody else?
And Lynn, I kind of briefly mentioned to you, and I've been thinking about that, you almost have to have an audit sheet with all these promises, we're gonna fix it, we're gonna adjust our budget. Sounds like nobody is writing anything down, they're just telling you, it'll be fixed, we're gonna supply it, we're gonna do this. You need to have something in writing saying, this Independence Township gate, we're supplying 3 of them at this cost, and we're gonna pay you when the budget change, and have it written down and initialed or something, because my memory's going out, and I'm sure when you get crazy, somebody's memory might go out and say, I didn't tell you to get buses from Mobile, you know? I told you, I suggested it.
I think, between the contract amendment today and the assurances, from the county on payment, we've got it on the record, and look, we
I'm
can
not talking
rely-
about just today. I'm
Well,
talking
no, I
about the
understand.
phones, I'm talking about the pads, I'm talking about everything, all the way back to there. They have to have something in writing saying, to keep a record of all this stuff.
And
This is
Linda's working
insane.
on that. She actually mentioned to me that she's looking at a spreadsheet set up, like just to track what happens in Independence, so that it
Bring your
doesn't
big
get
book.
lost.
Boom, this
Yeah,
is
it
what
doesn't
you
get
want.
lost in our
Yeah,
normal,
don't be
normal
easy.
budget.
That's
Is
it.
that accurate?
That is true, yeah, and I talked to Danielle, our bookkeeper, and she's going to maintain a separate line item just for independence expenses to kind of track those.
Well, not just Independence, since we put in the flagpole, all this stuff that's, they were gonna pay us back for.
I just asked
Go
one
ahead.
question. It sounds like you and your staff are doing an awful lot of the bidding, the finding out what's what all the time. Is the county reimbursing NODA for your expertise and your time on these issues that really should be their issue? They should come to you and say, we have set up everything for you, can you just manage it? But it sounds to me like they're saying, here, you go get the bids and you go find them. And are we getting any reimbursement for the time that you're in this office doing their bidding?
I think the county looks at us as a contractor, so they're contracting for us to provide service, and so they've been helpful with the procurement, so if they've had questions on, like, who do I go to for these bids, like the gates, or the electrical, or we've been dealing with different things, they'll give me people that they've used. The server was one thing, so we had to go through, we actually ended up going through them, it took 3 weeks. It saved $272, I think, going through their contracts, but they've been helpful that way, but, Eli's like, I don't own buses and I don't run the service, they're just there managing the money, basically. I think they're just managing us, and I think they're looking at just funneling the money to us to do the job, so.
I mean, I seen that Nigel was spending a lot of time over getting the bids and everything,
Right.
but he's our employee.
But then they're reimbursing us for the time, the cost of all of that, and so when
They're
we.
paying for his time,
They're paying for his
basically,
time. They're
as part of
reimbursing.
our
Right.
operation.
Mhm. And it increased that as well, because that's part of our budget adjustment, that we know it's coming up, and he knows that those costs are increasing over what we originally had budgeted for, so, he knows that there's gonna be a mid-year budget adjustment where they're gonna have this extra amount that there's gonna be due to us for this.
I gotta work my way through this, I'm thinking out loud, but it strikes me that the more we do, the more it is ours. The more hands-on we are, the more this belongs to us. If they're just funneling funds and we're running the program, then we have more say in the program, which is a plus for our residents,
I
that
agree
we
with you
are
on-
in charge.
Yeah, I agree, I just wanna know, are
We just
we
want-
spending our money, that's all.
Well, we just want money from them, that's really, and then just.
Well, let me reassure everyone that Lynn and I have had that conversation, and with the understanding that even though we're commingling our funding, we are going to have separate account line for our money versus theirs, so to speak, so that we're not expending our capital or our funds, that assets
Right.
on their operation.
Jack had brought up last week, that eventually with all the new buses and the old ones being going out of service, eventually the only asset that the original Nona will own, that the original communities will own, is this building, right? So, but as long as they're allowing us to have a say in the running of the program, I think it's a plus.
We have a lot of intellectual property here too.
Yeah.
Between our administration and our skilled dispatchers, and all things considered, it's been a real complex process. I wasn't gonna say crazy, but it's been complex, as you can imagine, and Lynn and Mike and loaded people and OPC are all still coordinating together. They're the ones that went back to SMART and said, this software's, it ain't gonna cut it.
Right.
And so, it's not just our voice, it's the voices of the other contractors too. And so far, we're on the same page. So, the point taken.
And I think Eli really appreciates our service and recognizes that we're special in regards to that, and I think he wants to maintain that. And I've heard something that they may be looking at doing something similar in the SMART area, like building something like what we have to offer some things that are being offered there. So, so it's been good, and I have to say, working with Eli has been great as far as, he's always gets back to me, he's attentive, he's, if I have any concerns, I feel like he's got my back, and our back as a whole, so.
Okay,
Just quick, it sounds like a lot of people are doing different jobs than what they were half a year ago, when we budgeted and so forth. Can you maybe speak with Eli and verify that, if we're gonna be employees of the county, the jobs that they're getting paid for are being called the right jobs, so that we can go to them and say, you owe this person $3 more an hour because they're doing this job, and that sort of thing. So just kind of look over your jobs in
Well,
the county and what they would consider it.
I just would say that when we went into the budget discussion with the county for this year, that was taken into account. We added, significant 50% of our staffing almost, and a lot of that was incorporated. But the point is taken that we have to watch how much our people are doing it for us and for our ridership and our communities, and not doing it at the behest of the county for their benefit per se. So as long as we're making them pay, we'll keep providing the service that they want.
But Laura, to your point, it's true that the positions have been evolving. Mike's job has been evolving. We talked about, managing, how many drivers did you start managing, and now we're
27, we're at 67.
So it's just, it's a whole different animal. And so,
To me, it sounds like you've got to get the right job title and then say, okay, because of what you guys have us doing now, this title is now this, which is another $10 an hour, and that's on your county to pay his $10 an hour.
and they're good for that. And so what we're trying to do is create some, levels where we take the duties and kind of spread it. And, Emma's been amazing. She used to be she's our head dispatcher, but she's also kind of risen above everybody. So now she's not even answering the phones now. She's handling she's like an administrative for both of us, and she's really good with that. So her position's really been evolving, and she's critical to for all of us. And so those changes are going to be made too for her. So, and I feel like as we go along, more positions are going to be needed, and we'll probably have to keep adding to that. And I think that's why Eli said it's hard to say what you need now because you don't know what you're going to need. So it's like build it up and build it what you need, and then we'll reimburse you. That's what it is. So.
I make a brief report. I just want to say thank you. This is a very detailed report, very easy to follow, easy to come up with questions. And I'd like to make a motion to receive and file this directly to the report.
Second.
I had to do that so I could get Frankie. That was smooth.
Any questions on the motion? If none, all in favor of receiving and filing the director's report for February, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. Public comments? None? Hearing none, we'll move on to approval of financial activity. The informational portion, is there a motion to receive and file?
So moved. I'll second.
Any questions on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. Moving on to approval of the bills.
I move to approve the January checks for $278,446.71.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to pay the bills for January. Any questions on the motion? Hearing none, can we have a roll call in, please?
McDonald?
Yes.
Rayfield?
Yes.
Cyrowski?
Yes.
Curtis?
Yes.
Pearson?
Yes.
Payne?
Yes.
Bordeaux?
Yes.
Urbanowski?
Yes.
Very good, motion carries. We have no old business. Moving on to new business. We've already been talking about it a bit, but Lynn, do you want to give us anything further on that discussion before we open it up to the board?
No, I think I kind of summarized it. It's basically just outlining what our service is going to be to independents.
Yeah.
It'll be approved next week at the Oakland County's meeting and then formal one next month.
Any other questions from the board? For Lynn or me or? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on then to the purchase of vehicles. Lynn, could you give us an idea of what we're going to authorize today?
Yes, this is a purchase of 10 Ford Transits, and we went out, we got 3 quotes for those as well. The lowest bid was Mobility Works. We're really happy with Mobility Works. They are on the state contract, so if it's on the state contract, you don't have to get the bids, but when it's not, you do. They ended up being cheaper than the ones that are on the state contract, and these are ones that we actually ordered last June, and now they're just coming in. So there's one on site right now, and the rest of them are supposed to be coming in by the end of March. So the total for those are $811,720.
You said that check.
And this is all in the budget.
Right.
So the purchases are from Mobility Works.
It's up from Mobility Works, yes. Well, I only have a check for one of them right now, because we only have one that's on site that we're paying, but we will be authorizing it in the next month.
And what was the total again?
$811,720.
Okay, any questions for Lynn? If none, what's the pleasure of the board? You want to buy some vehicles?
Motion to approve the purchase of the vehicles for $811,720.
Second.
We can put-
That's what I heard.
I have the biggest mouth.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to authorize Lynn to purchase on behalf of NODA 10 Ford Transits at a total cost of $811,720. Do we have a roll call, please, for that?
McDonald?
Yes.
Rayfield?
Yes.
Cyrowski?
Yes.
Curtis?
Yes.
Pearson?
Yes.
Payne?
Yes.
Bordeaux?
Yes.
Urbanowski?
Yes.
Very good, thank you. Next item is also another purchase. Lynn told us about the need for some security for the vehicles at Independence Township, so we're going to make Clintonwood Park available, a portion of it, and Lynn and Nigel went out, did the solicited bids. So what is the put? You want to give us an idea of what?
Yes. So the 8 quotes, and the best one was Nationwide for $11,627 out of the 3. And the county said that they've worked with Nationwide and had good results with them. And as far as the electrical goes, Triple R Electric was the cheapest at $55.93. So the 2 of them together have a total gate cost of $17,220.
Do we want 2 separate motions for these bids.
Okay.
That'd be fine.
Okay, I move to approve to the bid to Nationwide Construction Group for the installation of a gate at Clintonwood Park in the amount of $11,627.
I'll second that.
It does include installation, right?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure we're not just buying the equipment. Okay. All right,
You gonna do the second
any,
one?
any questions on the motion? Hearing none, we have roll call, please, Lynn?
Sure. McDonald?
Yes.
Brakefield?
Yes?
Cyrowski?
Yes.
Curtis?
Yes.
Pearson?
Yes.
Payne?
Yes.
Bordeaux?
Yes.
Urbanowski?
Yes.
I move to approve Triple R, to accept the bid from Triple R Electric for the electric, for the gate at Clintonwood Park in the amount of $5,593.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to authorize the purchase from Triple R Electric of the electrical provisions for the gate in Independence. Any questions on the motion? Hearing none. Could we roll call, vote, please?
Sure. McDonald?
Yes.
Brakefield?
Yes?
Cyrowski?
Yes.
Curtis?
Yes.
Pearson?
Yes.
Payne?
Yes.
Bordeaux? Yes. Urbanowski?
Yes.
Very good. Motion carried. Next item on the agenda is, I forget what the bylaws say, but every couple of years, I guess it's every year that we're supposed to have an election. We have, yeah,
All new people, huh?
all new.
Right?
You volunteering?
No, I think the president is fine. Should get a new secretary, I'm sure, though.
Mike, if nobody complains, I'd like to make a motion, we leave the officers exactly the way they are now, unless somebody objects.
Second.
I,
There
late.
you go.
Too late, you can't object now. Good
it's
job.
not a big
Easy.
deal. I was just gonna suggest we take Chris Barnett off this, he doesn't attend these meetings, and put someone else in that place. But it's not a big deal, we can keep him as vice chair.
Well, I made my motion unless somebody objects, and
It's
so
been
I'll
made and
rescind my
seconded.
motion.
No, it's been made and seconded, we have to vote
Ah,
on
you got it, you got it.
Who seconded it?
Jack.
Oh, okay. Okay, there's a motion on the floor to
We'll keep that money
retain
for
the
next
current
election.
officers. Any questions on the motion or comments?
So, if we- I have a question, so if we say no, then we get to redo the motion.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely, that's the way my motion was.
Okay. I just
Okay.
wanted to clarify.
We have a roll call.
We have to have a troublemaker first.
McDonald?
Oh, I'm gonna say no.
Okay. Brakefield?
Yes?
Cyrowski?
No.
Curtis?
Yes.
Pearson?
No.
Payne?
No,
Bordeaux?
No.
Urbanowski?
Well, that's not fair. I'm not here often enough.
Say no.
No.
That didn't matter.
Okay.
Say I was strong armed.
Is there a nomination then for, that motion failed, so is there a nomination for a new board member?
I would make a motion to keep all of the officers the same except for the vice chair. And I would move to make Jack Curtis
Yes.
the vice chair.
I'll second it.
I'll third it.
Does Jack want to do it?
Okay, so we have a motion, kind of a double motion,
Payback time.
of a platform that would involve the current chairman, Supervisor Curtis for vice chair, treasurer would remain Margie Payne, and secretary would remain Bruce Pearson. Everybody understand that to be the motion? Okay, we have a motion and a second, so could we have a roll call, please, again, Lynn?
McDonald?
Yes.
Brakefield?
Yes?
Cyrowski?
Yes.
Curtis?
No.
Had to happen.
Might be,
Pearson?
Where are we at now?
Pearson, you have.
Oh, well,
Say no.
I would like to clarify that Jack is mostly here all of the time, so I will say yes.
Oh my God.
Kane,
Yes.
Borschow,
Yes.
Urbanowski.
Yes.
Kind of a wasted no, wasn't it?
And this is paybacks for all of
We
you.
have- we have-
Stop stealing my flag.
Congratulations, Jack.
Now it's more than official, Jack. Okay. Next item is public comments. Hearing none.
You should welcome Jack.
I think I kind of did.
No, I haven't Cody in public forum. Yeah.
He voted no.
I missed that. Cody doesn't speak up though, he's pretty low key. Okay, so we'll move on then to receive and file the monthly rider and mileage reports.
So moved.
A second. Bruce did that.
Okay, motion and second. Any questions on the motion? Hearing none. All in favor of the motion to receive and file the monthly rider and mileage reports, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. Okay, board member comments. I won't start with our newest member. I'll start with Mr. Pearson.
Well, I'd just like to say, you know, if you drive around the roads here and everything, you see the Nova buses everywhere. I mean, it's great advertising.
Yeah.
You see them everywhere. You see them at Myers. You see them no matter where you go.
Absolutely.
So it's great advertising, and I think one of the reasons we're having a big increase in ridership besides all of the other townships is that people are getting more and more comfortable with it, that they're accepting that I can get a ride if I want from Nova. So that's a good thing.
I'd like to, again, thank you for a good report. It's always detailed. One thing I like about this meeting, it gets by fast, and our supervisor doesn't give us a 360-page board package to do for the upcoming meeting, but other than that, everything is fine.
You don't want a checkerboard from it.
What? Oh, did I say, I'm sorry.
No dinner for you tonight.
Good job, everyone. This is awesome. I know you guys are working hard.
I talked to Dave Woodward on Tuesday.
Oh, you look okay.
I do. There's an issue with indirect Board of Commissioner costs that are impacting our fire department dispatch. There's a proposed raise for an increase in the cost of the sheriff's contract for 2025. That we have a millage coming out for our sheriff's millage in 2024. They can't give us the price, but they're indicating an indirect cost from the Board of Commissioners to increase. I called him to task on it and I said, I'm not signing any of this unless I know what these indirect costs are. And he said, well, you know, they're this, they're that. And I said, yeah. He says, well, how's NODA doing? I said, well, you know, David, you promised us a route from Oakland College or Pontiac, Oakland University to Meyer. Twice a day, a route. It's off the board. Where'd that money go? He said, well, we still have some money and we're still thinking about it. We do have some development in the north end of our community that's starting now and will go for the next 3 years, where we need to either A, build affordable housing, or B, get some transit. And he said, well, I didn't know that. We just took it off because we didn't think it was going to be used. If you have a need, please address it with me.
That's typical of the county to not even talk about it
To
with
us.
us or the communities, let alone.
So we had a long conversation. It was funny, my lieutenant was in the office. I was on speaker, but you know, they just take things away and don't tell you about them.
I just add one thing to Jack's.
Sure.
Jack and I were at the meeting about this, especially, I know our dispatchers have already, for the fire department, we already got huge increases.
24%.
And a lot of this, that it's a surcharge that they're then taking and using that money for some other purposes, which we do not know. The next thing that's coming is they're putting a huge surcharge on our deputies that we contract with. So basically what that is doing is defunding our police departments, because they know that if we can't meet those extra costs, we'll be laying deputies off. And so it's another form of defunding the police. It's happened in other major cities, Minneapolis, Portland, Oregon, and so that's what we're dealing with now, because that money that the surcharge that they're putting on there is gonna be used for other purposes. We don't know what the other purposes are, if they're social programs or whatever, but meanwhile, we're growing out in this area, and we really need to add deputies, but we can't. We may even have to lay off deputies. So it's a form of defunding the police, which has occurred around the nation, and we all see the results. So
Oxford Township has approved 3 additional deputies and $900,000 addition to the basement because we're out of room. We just put it on hold right now because I can't take a 24% increase in cost and keep the millage the same, but I can't raise the millage 2 mills to provide the services that we need based on indirect cost from the Board of Commissioners. That's the word they used. So back to my statement about NODA, we are still going to need some sort of transit to fulfill that Oakland University Pontiac employment opportunities back and forth between Oxford North and Pontiac Oakland University.
That's why you have a seat at the table, Jack. Or
that's why he's the vice president.
That and 20 cents, and they still can't make a call.
No, I'm fine, thank you.
Jim?
Don't tell Chris what I just did.
Okay.
I'm kidding. No, thanks for having me, I appreciate it.
No, thank you for coming. I have nothing further. What's the pleasure of the?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay. Second.
Now, is this where the new member has to go out and buy us all a drink?
Yeah. I'm ready.
With the no request.
Okay.
Yeah.
Motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. Next regular board meeting is March 21st.